gone?
Yep.
So he's going to go through a blinded coaching setup of the deadlift here to see his internal checklist, which is probably, I should get some gummer here. So he's going to see how he does without the checklist, then he's going to use the checklist, then he's going to use the checklist and everything together nice and tight. So let's do a set of 5 or something like that.
Okay, whatever.
But really you're focusing more on that first rep to get it dialed in tight. Okay. You may go.
I have a mirror over here.
Okay. Hold on.
So I want you to walk up to the bar until your shins are close to the bar.
Hand gestures.
Okay. Stand in posture hold position with your feet about hip width apart. Drop your arms till they're straight down. And then I want you to squat down to the bar, keeping your chest and eyes up, and grab outside the bar, just outside your thighs. Now keeping your chest and eyes up and a steel extended spine, so keep that postural position locked in. Get tight, take a big breath of air, and then I want you to stand up with the bar.
You memorized the list already. That's the same as the list.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you stood up with the bar or not. Okay, so then I want you to squat the bar back down, keeping your chest and eyes up in that postural position maintained, all the way down till the discs hit the ground. And then back up, so chest and eyes up, steel spine. And that's 2. Then ease it back down. And then back up, leave with the chest. And 3. Big air in, ease it down. And back up. And that's 4. Good. Last one. And up. And 5. Nice work.
Smell it.
8+ deadlifts.
All right, good. That's amazing. It actually just killed my whole activity here. But no one else has it memorized like you do. I don't think. You might. I'm not sure. But that was incredible. And so that's the same damn thing as a checklist. I tweaked a little bit of stuff on there. But wow, so we're going to have to pick on some other guys next week who are actually gone tonight, who this is going to be a great activity for. I won't name any name. So you don't need to do the second round of the checklist. Let's get Tony in. I want to pick on somebody. So let's get Ben, you come in as the lifter. Tony on the spot, sorry. But it's your turn, so get a blinded set first, do 3 to 5 reps, and then we'll see you with the checklist.
All right, I want you to walk up to the bar to where you're just about an inch or 2 from, your shins are about an inch or 2 from the bar. I want you to stand in the posture hold position, and then spread your feet about hip width apart, toes facing forward. I want you to squat down to the bar with your arms extended, and the grip about shoulder width apart, going straight down, and then go.
You doing good?
All right.
You set up good?
All right. Now that you're there, I want you to stand up at the bar and make sure you're to keep that straight or that rigid back. And I want you, when you come up with the bar, I want you to come as close to your shins as you can. And then when you go over the knees, stand straight up, and then you're keeping that posture hold position. Assuming he's up. So I want you to squat back down. Same way that you came back up, keep your chest up and your eyes and your head up until the bar hits the plates hit the ground. So that's 2. And now back up again. Focus on keeping that posture hold position. And down. And up.
One more rep.
And down one more time. Back up.
All right, good. All right, then down. All right, good. So all your cues and everything was right. Everything you said was right. But what had happened there, so if you notice on Ben's, it worked in real time, so there's no delay. So if he had, let's say that's 135 on the bar, and he's still new and he doesn't understand keeping tight and he's still vulnerable, that may have not come together so well because he was actually frozen in the air with the bar in his hand around knee level. That's what I'm saying. So how can we refine the cues and the information to where it doesn't slow them down necessarily, or necessarily it's not too much information. It's just the right amount of information his brain needs to get it done, and not get down here, get tired and fatigued, and his posture breaks down too soon. So that may seem anal, but I think it's very important when you think about them getting down there, wasting time. And even like if you see Shane, like I don't even want her to tie her own shoes when she's doing a workout because she gets so distracted by something so simple. So keeping it simple and to the point to where we can keep the flow. So like once he was down there, that's when things started to slow down a bit. You set him up perfectly. It's just probably too much, and then from there got a little jagged. So let's try one with the cue. Literally, The stuff in parentheses is optional, but you can go ahead and say it.
Alright. Alright, stand with your feet hip width apart, with the bar touching the shins, and then get in your posture hold position, drop your arms, squat to the bar, grab the bar with hands outside of your legs, look up or forward or up, chest and eyes up, get tight, set your back, inhale, and then lead with your chest to the ceiling, driving through the heels, and stand up. And exhale when you get to the top. Reset at the top and take the slack out. And then squat the bar back down as you inhale. Same way you lifted it. Lightly tapping on the ground and then repeat.
Good. So we could chop it down a little bit. That was good. So it's basically everything. There's not a single tick in there that would set them in the wrong direction. So the mechanical correct. So go ahead and rest. What are some of the things you guys see wrong or off when you're seeing some of the deadlifts in here? Where do we start? And that's what I'm saying. That's why we're doing this, because there's nothing eye-opening exactly. You saw a subtle difference from those first two sets, but really, how can it go wrong?
Well, I think one of the key things I remember here is lead with your head and chest and push through your heels.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people like Will today. He corrected it when I was watching Rod working out. He turned it into butt up and then came up this way. Remember how you corrected him? That's all basically exactly the same thing.
Yeah, so something slip newbies there, but I'm really talking even more like the chronic things going on, like stance and grip, like you were talking about the other day, and people deadlifting real wide and just like a snatch grip, and when it's supposed to be conventional setup.
Right.
You know, this is real simple. You know, your anatomical landmark would just be hip width. You know, some people are mesomorphic, squattier kind of build, and they'll have more of a squared off. Like if you see me do a clean, that's actually where I am. It's different. But if I were just simply thinking about deadlifts and I didn't Olympic lift, I would be right there. Nice and tight like that versus my cleaning style there. A little different, but to do an actual deadlift, you know, how can we, you know, we're seeing guys out like this and they're getting real rounded, bending the arms around the knees, and we're seeing a lot of this kind of stuff going on. So this should take that out. So I think we kind of hit that home. I want to see a couple more where people do blinded just to see, but you guys already got the answer here. Brian, you want to try one? Suck it. Get up there, sheet. Just so you can do the deadlift. Let's put 300 on there real quick and make this a little serious.
Should I do it real fast? Okay, stand with your feet hip width apart, with the bar touching your shins. Get into the posture hold position. Drop your arms, squat down to the bar. Grab the bar with your hands outside your legs. Look forward or up, chest and eyes up. Get tight, set your back, lock in your back. Inhale, lead with your chest to the ceiling, and drive through the heels, curls toes up, stand up, and exhale. Reset at the top of each rep. Take out the slack that you lost on the way up. Inhale, squat the bar down the same way you lifted it. Keep your chest, chin, eyes up, chin. Lightly tap the ground and repeat.
So that's where it's too wordy. I need to clean that up and refine it. So the stuff, go ahead and relax. The stuff in parentheses is stuff that, you know, it's hard to come to peace with it, what exactly to take out on this. But for example, where a lot of people, you may be great on that first rep, but so reset at the top of each rep, take out the slack. So you see guys finishing here, and they're finishing like this in their deadlifts. They're not getting their shoulders back and reset. So reset, take out the slack, get tight for the next rep. So every rep that should happen. So every time you stand up, nice and clean, as you get tired, it's going to end up coming down in there. So that's in parentheses, and if you really look at this without that, it's literally stand with the feet hip width apart. Let's go, let's get you on the bar. Now I'm going to do the short condensed version if possible on this to keep it real tight and punchy. So, okay, stand with the feet hip width apart. Okay, next we're going to, stand with the feet hip width apart, get into the postural position, drop the arms, but you see we already have a problem. This is why I have this in parentheses. He's a foot away from the bar. So in parentheses, it is bar touching the shins, symmetrical with the bar, because I may have him touching the bar with the shin, but then he's standing, this will be Dr. Suggs, this will be 4 inches to the left. You know, this is exactly the way I teach him every single day, and that's where I started teaching this with postural position standing, because every time he comes down to the bar, he's like this. And he's flexed over and humped, and I just lost everything I spent 5 minutes talking to him about. So the postural position, drop down, and then once he's down there, I put the straps on for him, because as soon as he looks down and starts putting them on, I just lost it all again. So he's in postural position, drop the arms, come down, and then he's got 225 on there, and he's off staggered, so I just pull the bar over so it's straight. He can stay there, put the straps on. He's not getting too tired down there, and we can go. But anyway, so in parentheses, bar's tight to the shins. Your thing, 1 to 2 inches is okay, but if someone's getting too far drifted away, the center of gravity is going to be too far forward. And once they lift, they're going to shoot their hips, they're going to be forward in the center of gravity. So there's one. So I like to aim on touching the shins. Okay. But it's not big. It's not a deal breaker. So get in the posture position, drop the arms, squat to the bar, grab the bar with the hands outside of your legs, look forward or up, chest and eyes up, get tight, sit your back, inhale, and lead with the chest to the ceiling and driving through the heels, curl the toes up, stand up, exhale. Yeah, I gotta take the toe thing out, that'll be in parentheses. Okay, reset the top of each rep and take out the slack, then squat the bar down, lightly tap the ground and repeat. Good. Same thing, squat down, lightly tap the bar, and repeat. Good, so I'm gonna chop this down, but just so you know that there's details that could be missing on there. So we'll chop this down where it's really wordy in the middle there. Relax. The point where he's set up. So first of all, are they set up correct? A lot of times if they're set up wrong, everything's gonna be wrong from there. And that's what people first are, 80% of the problems with injuries are to be pulling with the flex spine there. But what happens when they're under load and they're actually in action? That's where we can shorten this up. So thinking chest and eyes up, lead with the chest. For example, any other suggestions on that? Good. Cues? All right, we'll refine it. So next week, don't tell any of those guys about this. I'm going to put them on the spot so we can laugh at them about it. It's going to be, RDLs are going to be discussed. That's another big one. So RDLs, front squat, back squat. We'll have a simple checklist. You might just add it to this here, put them under there. You know what I'm saying? Very impressive work, thank you.
Good job, Ben.
Now, here's an awareness exercise on focus. Now, there's a few more I'd like to do, but such subtleties. I had someone stop me in the parking lot today and say, you need to talk to so-and-so about, yeah, I know you guys need to eat between sessions and you guys get really hungry and whatnot, but so-and-so is training so-and-so and, you know, he had his coffee out and, you know, I understand it's early in the morning and all those things, but he's so focused on his coffee and he spilled his coffee, knocked it over, and the clients, they're doing an exercise. And he's fucking around with his coffee and all this stuff, and she just paid all this money for the workout and it's just a disaster. So that's human and it happens, I understand that. But if it is so, I wasn't there and I didn't see it, but if it's so alarming that this is a reputable client who told me this, if she were to say something to me about this, then it must have been some kind of fiasco, basically. So consider that on these exercises and why we're even doing this. So what we're doing next is anybody got a pee right now? I need a cup full of urine. A cup full of urine?
Serious?
Okay. Go fill it up with water real quick. All right, real quick. So we're gonna have one person doing an alternating lunge, balancing a cup of urine on the head. Thank you. They're gonna have water on their head. Okay, so think of how dangerous a lunge is. So not all of us really think about that. Remember Todd's lunges? You know, you get away with a lot of things, especially we can. We're young and fit, and we have more resilient knees. But except Brian, you're gonna appreciate this. But one bad move on any exercise. So this last 2 weeks, we had 2 people get hurt with the deadlift, back injuries. People who should never in a million years should have had these back injuries. All with the same trainer who's a very OCD, compulsive, smart trainer. The guy is smart, but he messed up. He took his eye off the ball for 1 second. 1 second's all it takes to break someone's back. Tear a rotator cuff. I had the biggest injury I can remember I've had with someone was with Raj Doshi, actually. He was doing the dumbbell bench press and he got real heavy. It was his last rep. He was coming down. I thought we were going to take it in together and set it down. I don't know if he freaked. I can't remember. You know, I can't point a finger necessarily, but you let the weights go. He came down at the bottom and he got real deep and let go of the weights to the side. So that's why I will never ever let someone come down and out on their own. So I bring it down, bring it tight to the body and sit. He came down too deep and he's got those forwardly rotated shoulders, bad posture there towards rotator cuff. He was back in a few weeks, but really that scarred me for life. I'll never ever let anybody come down like that. But it was just crushed a PR set, and it was the last thing he was excited and he got out of it. Stupid. Dr. Suggs tweaked his back once on a heavy deadlift. The guy is a deadlifting machine. Killed his set. This is at the old gym even, so I'll never forget it. And he kills the set. Last rep, done. He was excited about a PR and dropped it down with the flex spine. Took my eye off the ball for 1 second. I just didn't say one damn cue. I could have said, squat it down. Keep your chest and eyes up. I missed. And he fucked himself up. So think of those two some quick situations. Whereas the same thing happened to this other guy, and he just can't understand it. It's like, so I said all the perfect cues. My coaching was dialed on. You know, it looked right. I'm like, well, that's why I say steel lock in spine, and it's not abs in. Don't think about engaging the core and squeezing the butt. That's not good enough on a heavy deadlift. It is a steel spine. Think about extension in the spine. You cannot budge on a heavy squat or deadlift. It was 2 younger people that should have never been hurt with their back, honestly. So he took his, I understand it happens, but it's one thing if it's 1 in 10,000 and it happens. It's another thing if you have 2 people out of 8 clients that do it all in the same week. To me, that is, your checklist is wrong. So although you're coaching well, your consistency of your checklist is not working, so something's off here. So tell me what's going on. So awareness to all those subtle details, but ultimately with injuries, not taking your eye off the ball. So even if they got A+ form all the time, it's still, they're always vulnerable. Tom's very focused, he looks great all the time, but no way. You know, just like you said in the email, it's a triple check. Like I coached him 3 times. We just did this damn exercise on Monday. You still understand it. It's already Friday. You don't know how to do it. Don't take it for granted. And then memorize that checklist, hammer it out real fast. Bam, it should be like a quick commercial every single time. So that being said, subtleties like a lunge, which to me are way more dangerous and sketchy for these people. I'm not a big fan of the walking lunge, whatever. If people can do it, fine. It just doesn't make a lot of sense for our space ultimately, but literally, I don't see any problem with doing the alternating lunge in place. Here, for example. And that's, if you think about the way the gym was put together for our business model here, it's so we could all get something done on one station. Even with 2 clients, ideally. So if we get super packed in here, I got John and Celeste, I need to be able to adapt and get everything done in one spot, ultimately. I could have a barbell here, the bench inside of here, and get that knocked out that way, and then have to rotate around. It's more work for me, but ultimately, it may get that busy someday. Now, what's going on here, this is to keep your eye on the ball. So the point here is eye on the ball. Always keep your eye on the ball. Always keep your eye on the ball. You don't want to get hit by a pitch like so-and-so was this last week. Twice.
Hey, Anna, bring me your mop.
So, one person did a lunge there. So, to have a good clean lunge, you should have perfect positions and stability and balance to do it anyway. Why would you go down to a lunge and have any stability in the knees and let momentum take over? So, I'm going to try this. This wasn't my plan. Let's see what I can do.
It's a joke, actually. Kind of.
So, no, you're going to do it basically with the cup like this. And see if you can do a lunge spotted with another person, but you get the point. We'll have one person do it and see if you can spot the do lunge. That's how close. Remember when I was all taught about, okay, you need to be behind there at all times. One bad step. So that was one bad step, and I lost it. So think about how, I got dumbbells in my hands, I got a barbell on my back, and I'm off, and just on that recovery, it looks solid, and all of a sudden, uh-oh, crap. And I'm standing over here. My arms crossed, I can't do anything about it. You want to do some lunges? How are your lunges?
All right.
Go ahead, someone spot it from behind. See what you got. We need some
Watch this
better.
one spot.
That's just extra.
You guys do walking lunges or?
Walking lunge. Go for walking lunge.
Posture hold. Posture hold.
So let's see your spotter, Brian. Brian, spotter. So where would you go for this?
Walking
You're
lunge.
walking.
Am I walking?
Yeah, I don't care either way. Just yeah, do alternate. It's fine. So balance that. So Brian, you're spotting her. Keep that cup on her head. The cup's also your responsibility. Oh, sorry.
fire.
So we balance
I'm gonna
her.
hold the cup on here.
So nice and straight there. So where would you balance her? So what's the root cause of her falling down? Is it her head is the problem? Probably not. She's probably thinking about it, thinking her head anyway. So it's everything else. So keeping her tight from the hips up. Good. You're off. Too far away.
Come on, B. Get up in there.
Good. See how he's lunging with her? It's exactly how, when I have something I'm worried about, naturally as an instinct, he got in there nice and tight there. So you literally are lunging each time with him is the ideal way to do that, almost. Or stepping forward. Or you're straddling like Sean likes to do. It looks like he's getting from behind or something. Let me see you bend.
Very
from here.
conducive.
Actually, stay here.
What?
So I'm a female.
So I'm going to do the Sean Dunn style.
They don't
Go ahead and lunge. My arms are out there with him. I can save him there. So it's like dancing on eggshells. Go ahead. One. I'm watching the cup. I'm watching him. Good. Continue. Good. Good. All right, let's get a cup of water. Nice. So that's my point. So at all times, so think of this not as some stupid object on his head. Literally is, I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it. He lost his balance. Gotta fix it right away. But I'm close enough. I'm in hand reach distance at all times that I can save his ass at all times. So think about spotting that way. We talked about this a long time ago. You should be at hand's length of your client at all times where you can save their ass at any point in time if they go off balance. And also, it's something about them hearing you a little bit better too. How many times we get set up next to each other, and like I'm coaching, they're coaching, we're in arm's length of each other. It's like we're drowning each other out. I just start whispering so the client can hear me, and then people aren't annoyed as shit, but you know what I'm saying? So that way they can hear you better. You don't have to get ridiculous. Well, that's it on that. It won't be dead to that. So any questions? Good? So check what's going on that.
Spot people from the side on the lunge.
On the lunge now, that's a good dilemma. Now, to fix their lunges up early on, absolutely. And I think that's fine with, if you go down, let me up here. So if I'm at a place where I can save you mid torso, block the knee, and then bam, still fix you that way, then I think it's fine. Now what I'm thinking of is more the walking lunge, and which I've never really recommended, honestly. I mean, yes, we can do them, but I just not comfortable with it, ultimately. And I feel more controlled, we save space here, and I can load the barbell on their back better, because I plan to make them damn good at it. So Shannon, for example, if she did like alternating lunges with 85, 95 pounds, I would never in a million years have her walk with that. Here I can spot her here to load the bar off her back, plus it's less work for me to have to go carry it to her, and it's a huge bar that would take everybody out. So that being said, I can still spot her here or behind the back from here. So she picks it up from here, and I'm behind her there, and she does the lunge. But that works. And I think more in the realm of when they're running or the dumbbell lunge. When they're doing a barbell inside of here, though, I usually will be behind. And do the Sean Dunn pump style.
I'm not actually moving my hips. They're stationary.
I understand. Just messing. I did catch the other day and it looked like you're getting fried. I did see you stood like that. I swear to God, it's still kind of funny.
That's all right.
All right. So that's all I got on that. We're gonna hit more of the checklist soon, but just like Ben took that hard, I believe, and think about how you would coach and how can we find every single exercise I do. There's a simple checklist. It doesn't have to be this elaborate. And I wouldn't even think of this as elaborate. This could be 30 points, honestly. But 3 point every time someone I see it is bench press. Okay, postural position, feet, butt, shoulders, nice and firm on the bench and ground. Eyes under the bar. We'll take the slack out of the bar. Make sure it's up front. So eyes under the bar. Nice tight grip there. Unrack the bar. Come straight down. Hit nipple area. Exhale. Push up. They know how to bench press textbook every single time they ever do. It's nothing's ever assumed there. Because I don't want to, those warm-up sets are a crucial point for me to clean up the form so their max PR sets are dialed in perfectly tight. I don't want to waste time on that heavy PR set trying to fix up a technical flaw I should have fixed up the first warm-up set. You know what I'm saying? So those are all practice. Practice the warm-up sets like it's your heavy max set. Should be lifted the same way. All right, so let's go run through that core list real quick so we're on the same page. You guys all know L1, 2, and 3. I want to repeat something though that is not across the board on the checklist or on the L3. It still sometimes is crossover crunch. Crossover crunch and cannonball crunch are the same thing, and I've been trying to call it cannonball crunch. I don't know if you guys ever see it when you say crossover crunch, the clients will start doing bleak shit like that. So cannonball crunch is okay. You don't have to repeat yourself. That's why it changes. So arms are crossed, ankles crossed, elbows and knees. That's cannonball crunch, but it still says on some of the sheets. Very soon, in the next couple of weeks, will not be training much in the mornings at all whatsoever. I'm going to be working on cleaning up all the workout cards, putting a new website together, getting all of the videos organized into the new website and making everything much more clear and organized. So that's coming up soon, and I'll fix that problem. Yes?
I had Joan, or what's her, Salas? What's her?
Joanne Salas.
Yeah, she's going to be joining the team labs and stuff like that. Well, anyway, she was asking about the JTLC, and actually she's not the only client that asked if they could somehow access the JTLC.
That's exactly part of this website.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
That's a good point. This website is going to be, it's where it's a member and trainer website. They can see everything we do on there and know about everything, but they only have access to certain parts. No password will get you to everything, and you can get all the documents and the trainer's portion of the JTLC, let's say, but then there'll be a part that the client's going to have access to. So when they become a member here, they get automatic access to it. So they can, no matter what, so it makes your travel torture situations a lot easier to deal with. There'll be diet information on there. You guys can all see it come together now, and they can get on there and see the real-time JTLC. They can see probably a big video one. They can really see why it's important if they really just hate it. They can see the boot camp style versions, like, oh, I like that, maybe let's do that as well. Right. And pictures are there and all that crap, so bigger versions of it. So that for core, for all of our laser conditioning stuff, you name it, all that stuff's going to go on there, and they can actually have access to all that. You just won't see the trainer side of that, which is a whole other element. So give them the team lab, so the on-ramp stuff we did for lifting, we got tons of videos for that. It's all going to be edited and refined down to where they can get on there and access everything. And that makes your job easier too. So it's like after you teach them the 3D on-ramp, it's like, okay, now to reinforce, to remember these drills, it's all, see the videos on there. See our, perhaps some of our trainers meetings. See, I have to edit those down badly though. So the core stuff. So you know L1, L2, L3. So I think you just take a volunteer for each one, or we just keep hitting the two new guys on every single one of these.
You guys. Mitch?
Go ahead and grab one, pass around.
I'll hold the fucking camera.
Okay, so decline sit-ups, all right?
Candy?
Oh yeah, you don't eat candy.
So this is H28, so what you should see that comes to life, the old core manual was too elaborate, too much there. It's still fine, you can use it, but it's hardly overkill for most people's needs. So literally a lot of people, for the rest of their life, could do LF 1, 2, 3, and 4 pretty much forever and have enough variation in their core training and still stimulate that core enough, their body fat gets down enough, they will have a nice six-pack ab. It's just they like to feel the tension of the abs come in, they like to feel them popping. When they start showing ability to get outside the LF1, the rotation of heavy and light is actually magical in doing the light voluminous stuff on the ground, so like think LF 1, 2, 3, and 4, versus the heavy stuff. So you'll see something like H28 is the first one, I think. And it is the decline sit-ups, bench, knee roll, dumbbell, side bends. It's the weighted stuff, not the ground weighted stuff. When we have like a bench that's harder, the knee rolls on a bench, hanging leg raises, the cable stuff, that's the heavy stuff. There's heavy core training and the reps are typically much lower. That gets into the abs much harder differently and gives you different stimulus than the low grade volume stuff on the ground. So they're getting, like, swear to God, take any one of your clients who are eligible for this, take them through H28, someone who's been stuck in just doing the light foundational stuff on the ground, they do H28 well for 3 rounds one day. Oh my God, what do we do? It was amazing. It's the most simple basic core stuff on earth, but it's the heavier stuff that stimulates deep in there, and they're gonna be like, wow, can we do that again? But it's more about the random rotation of it going heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light. So you can throw an H28, say, if you're doing 3 core workouts a week, every other workout, or a heavy one every other workout basically, and you keep that chronic soreness in their core all the time, and they're getting that six-pack feel they want, they feel their abs work. How much of that is necessary, ultimately, for their spinal health and the six-pack and all that? Much less than we actually really honestly need. If there's someone like Marina who you just need to get moved to lose weight, then it's really all pretty much irrelevant. I would still do LF 1 through 4, as I believe there is a point to training the core there, balancing now with all the extension we're doing. Yes, it's balance out the spine, and the low back pieces on there as well. So getting the plank, the side plank, Superman, bird dogs, I think those are all therapeutic and corrective on their own. So I like the fact that those get in there routinely. So that's the overall programming balance coming together. But so after phase 1, phase 2 and 3, the light heavy rotation should start happening. So they should start seeing the heavy stuff coming every other workout. Likewise, I might even change it soon where I always say on phase 3 they should be getting hyperextensions every deadlift day. That's how important of an exercise I find it to be. So the person I was talking about earlier that had 2 back injuries out of 8 clients in 1 week, who's a very focused person typically, I think we could help those situations out if in phase 2 even we start alternating heavy hypers in every deadlift day and making it an actual exercise versus a core piece at the end. And it's routinely in that day. They need to chronically hit this every other workout and nail that position and develop those records. I don't think hitting it once a week is enough in this population. You know, so unless their deadlifts are A pluses and they're locked in tight and they can engage that and they're advanced, then they can take out. I hardly ever do hypers anymore. I still do them, but I did thousands of them early on in my lifting career. I don't backs engaged. When I do an RDL, it's typically RDLs get up. My deadlifts and all my pulls off the ground are locked in tight. So it's the necessity of it is not there. These clients are not like that. Does that all make sense? Follow me on that? Okay, so let's get this knocked out. First, decline sit-ups. Let's get Tony on here. Real simple here. So on a decline sit-up, it's real subtle position here. So sit upright, locking the feet in the pegs.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So Ryan Adams, won't pain the ass.
What? Oh, I know.
I can bet.
Because his track slides in,
Protein?
you know,
Yeah.
and he has to reset, and so I can get him set up.
Seriously?
Behind it.
No, up on
Well,
it.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
but
start off,
not like
slide
straight.
down, knee on dumbbell bench press, you know, all max, him sliding down, like scoot him up. I don't see any trick.
Past it. So actually, what I might even do is actually just have his ass sit behind it, literally. So ideally, I like to set him up there, but what I like to have is Saquon would say sitting upright, tight here in front of the crack there, and he's in a slight fetal position there, flexed in. So the whole, let's do that one real quick. We'll go back. So arms across the chest. So keeping a little tight there. So anti-postural position basically. What's going on? So he's going down slow. When the small back and hits there, it's good. By air on the light side first, see how they respond. Some people get back in if they overextend too much of that. So down slow, stay tight, 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 tight. Exhale, squeeze up. Good. And then I'm going to assess his range, see how he looks. Good. Stay tight. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale up. Good. When he has to start getting thoracic extension in there, that's too far. If he can do it lower and stay curled in, it's unnecessary range. So going down to where his scapula is still off in the air there, that's fine range, and I can still get what I need to get done there. So versus going all the way down and opening, then back up, and his head dropping down, just disorienting and orienting and unnecessary. That's the basics of it. So staying tight, inhale down, exhale up. Now, where are you at with your butt? So he's in the crease there now, and it's a little uncomfortable in there. So he might be fine, sit with your butt slightly behind the crease. There you go. Let's do the same thing and see how you feel comfortable. You tell me if this is comfortable or not. Go down slow, same exercise. Exhale, squeeze up. Good. One. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze up. One more. Stay tight. Inhale. And I'll start punching them in there just to check them out, see how they're doing. It's real easy to extend on this. Okay, good. Relax. How do you feel?
Feel better?
I feel better for me, but I mostly because of my feet.
And you're long, so it makes sense to probably have you back there. And I've done both, and I would literally just test and see if you stop sliding around, so it takes out the slack of it. You know? So hopefully that works.
I wouldn't slide around as much. I can feel a lot. I felt a lot more stable, I guess. Like it wasn't
When you were back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so either or. I usually set them up typically in front of it, and that's how I do it, and I'm used to being 5'8", so whatever works. He's got 14 size shoes. What do you wear? 13. Anyone else? That's insane. Okay, so that's the decline setup. Weighted on this, I don't want to go spend too much time on that, but weighted on this, I would typically go with a plate, maybe at the chest, a dumbbell, hold it like a football at the chest there. Watch though if you have a big plate or something that doesn't slide down and they cheat, so it's not coming down on the stomach. Try to keep it up at the chest so it's weighting the upper torso there, and his abs got to work to keep that from extending in the spine there. So you could have 2 dumbbells draped there, but it's going to be very hard to not keep them from extending. Dumbbell over the chest like a football, plate hugged across the chest. Those are the standard ways I would weight that. Unless you have a weighted vest on, something crazy like that. Okay, bench knee roll will be the second part of H28, so foot on here. I have his butt down here, hands down there. Let's go ahead and flip. Feet are going to hang off the edge. Same thing as a knee roll, but we're actually getting much more range of motion, and we're getting a weighted stretch. So weighted stretches do what? Cause a lot of soreness. So that's the brilliance of this. So he's going to get soreness as a result in his lower abs he may not be normally feeling. The knee roll on the ground stops your range. You're not getting a real huge range of motion on the core there. So grab behind your head. Just hold nice and firm there. Ankles and knees together. And exhale, roll up. Here, he just wants to get a little bit of elevation. He doesn't need to come up way up. And I wouldn't even recommend that. So just a little bit up there. Inhale down. Exhale up. Slow. Good. Inhale down. Exhale up. Slow. Stay tight. Good. 2. Inhale. Exhale up. 3. Inhale. Exhale up. 4. It's tight. Good. All right. So how would I weight that? I'd put a medicine ball between his knees is one obscure way to do it, but they're all upstairs. We'll get some more. Ankle weights on his feet are nice. It doesn't take much on this. And actually, after doing the decline sit-up, this is his first heavy core circuit. This is going to be hard, actually. This is where people start breaking down. So 10 to 15 reps is usually a good rep scheme on the decline sit-up. 10 is hard for most people, especially if you weight it. Don't consider it a weighted exercise if you're doing more than 10 reps. And if you're doing any exercise beyond 15, it's cardio. So think of it that way. The core is more resilient. You can get some volume in. Calves are different as well. But the volume stuff, at first think about 15 to 20 to get someone's conditioning level up. But when you're going in the weighted realm here, if their form is nice and tight, start weighting that up with some resistance, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, etc. So think in the 10 rep range. So same thing on the knee roll, medicine ball between the knees, ankle weights there. On the medicine ball between the knees, make sure you stay tight or it's going to fall down on the goods. Okay, dumbbell side bends. This is the one that's actually beat up the most. People's form. I like doing, for advanced people, super heavy side bends. You can feel some amazing tightness in there. But on the side bend here, I just do this one. Standing symmetrical as if I'm in a postural position first. Okay, no need for 2 dumbbells on this. That way, it kills the whole point of this. So I'm trying to offset my center of gravity here and trying to find midline stability and symmetry here. So when I stand tall here, I'm already feeling this firing on this side. So as I come down, it's a nice, just like the side bend there, I'm coming back up. You can go a little extra if you need to feel that side there, but really there to there is fine. It's appropriate. If you have a good enough load and you have someone that controls all these pieces well enough, they should feel it. I'm feeling a lot going on. Just with this to this. Think down, symmetrical, down, symmetrical. This is fine though, but what that's going to favor is that kind of thing. Think John Sandberg. This is his side bend. I feel nothing in there, but pre-fatigue from what I just did a minute ago. But tight there, stretch, lateral flexion of the spine there, back. But yes, that's fine if they can control that. So you go knee to knee, so just like a regular side bend, that'd be fine. So look for any silly motions in there. Are their hips stable here? Where's the motion taking place? Is it my shoulders? Is my hips swinging around? Or is it all in the obliques there? Squeeze. Aggressive obnoxious air actually helps me feel that a lot better. That inhale, it stretches and expands everything. Squeeze and flex, tight as hell. I'm almost cramping right now. Okay, same thing. And then I like palpating myself to see if I can feel that engage, turn it all on, ask them if they feel it. A lot of times this is when they don't feel crap. If you're going 10, 15 pounds, most people, even females, will not feel a lot with that kind of weight. Their arm can over-dominate that motion and do the work for them. So you kind of need to load this one up as long as it looks clean. Start light. If it was Shannon, for example, I would go 25, 30 to 35, 40 to 45 on her at the heaviest end. So 8 to 10 reps in that 40 to 45, 50 pound range. Any questions? So look for silly compensations on the arm and shoulder. If you ever see John Timber do this, you have a good laugh because he's the hardest one I've ever had to try to get right with that. So I will go on in on him and actually hold his hips and try to hold this in. Okay, now do a side bend. And I can guarantee that this is going to do more work and I can keep that from compensating at the hips. Okay, that's H28. Now there's lumbar work as question mark. So lumbar work, low back work should be on every single core workout for the most part. Where you got to use your brain on this is, if I am using this abbreviated core manual and I had someone do deadlifts yesterday or hyperextensions yesterday, and let's say this is a later client or something, or an in-between day, I wouldn't be doing a lot of hypers on the in-between days. Too much low back fatigue, you may set them up for injury the next day because they're fatigued and can't handle hold that tight postural position. Things like planks and stuff you can get away with, a little bit different, but I would just be conscious of that day to day on their training so you don't beat any one area up too much. But so lumbar, that's why it's lumbar work question mark. So since this is a heavier day, I think hypers, reverse hypers, stuff like that. But it all depends where the day falls and what their needs are. So if they're terrible at a plank or they're the type that bows over real bad, I'd be killing them with planks until they're really good at it. So let's see. Let's go to this brace here. Your ball set up, your brace. Don't grab a Swiss ball. So rough rule of thumb on any kind of ball setups or sit-ups on the ground is if you take their weight divided by 2, or weight, 50% of their weight and divide that by 2 would be the weight of the dumbbells you want to keep their body weight down. That makes sense? So if I'm going to do a ball setup here, now we're to left. So this would be a ball crunch. It's a very short range of motion on flat, and it's the same as regular crunch on the ground. But a sit-up where I'm trying to get more range of motion there, it's going to be very hard to do without anchoring myself down, without falling back. So I would have dumbbells here holding this down. So that's what I mean by that weight separation. So this will hold me down. Ball sit. You're going to sit a little bit different than you would on the ball to increase their range. Think of this a lot like the decline sit, but the same concept. But this ball is in the realm of heavy core. So same field position, nice and tight, coming down, stretch, exhale, squeeze. You know, down, stretch, exhale, squeeze. Find the point where if I come farther, I'm just wasting time. It's like in a chest fly. At the top there, yeah, do a full range, but if they're hanging out there, they're just buying time. Right there, that's as much of the core work as I need there. Stretch, squeeze, nice and tight there. So I kind of actually like opening up a little bit of this and getting a little bit of a stretch in there. As long as that's engaged and not flopping back there, so it sets the difference there. And that will hold me down. Same concept of weighting on the plates over the chest or the dumbbell, like a football. Any questions on that one? Covered that thorough enough? So ball sit up, deep brace. Solid ball crunch. Cable side bend into the ball start pitch. Cable side bend, let's go this way. Honestly, this circuit's a little bit of a pain in the ass. If you get to cable side bend and you're worried about time, I would just go to dumbbell side bend. This is not that amazing that it really is required to do this one, but on the side bend, same rules of thumb as the regular side bend. You might even want to counterbalance with the hand here, just to see how well they hold it, but same thing, stretch, squeeze. You really need some range there. Stretch, squeeze, stretch, squeeze. To me, this is a little awkward, but I do like the way the resistance, the vector of force on this works against me a little bit. I feel like I can get a much better squeeze and hold there. You can see I'm actually getting a little bit further than I need to over there with the dumbbell, so I prefer the dumbbell side bend. It's a nice variation. People like this machine for some reason. Exhale, squeeze, nice and tight, and down. So the problem with this circuit is that you got to run from over there to here to back over there and all that. So I'm going to put the dumbbell side bend on that one, hit both sides. Cable wood chopper or V-sits. Again, that's another dilemma. So the cable wood chopper here, there's several variations of this.
Right there. Hang on your thing.
Now, if someone, John Sandberg, love him to death, he has no business doing any rotational work whatsoever. There's no stability to do it, and I just don't trust him doing it. And he doesn't need it that bad. He can do his side bends as part of the JTLC. Now, a chopper, wood chop, let's say, I'm going to reduce the variation and do the basic version of this first. Start on the conservative light side. If he's got to fight with his whole body, too heavy. It should be nice coordinated motion down. So is my arms doing the work? Is my whole body weight doing the work? Or is it nice rotational work through the core there? Stretch across the shoulder, exhale, squeeze down. Literally think about, to get a coordinated arc of motion here, think about it like you're chopping wood. So that's the equidistant stance there version of this. This is the most basic version of this, I would say. Some people really like to drop down and do a half kneeling style of this, across. Come up, stretch, come down, cross. Some people come up and rotate extra with it. This is all getting fancy and only necessary if the person is able. This is the ninja style. So coming up, stretch there, you can follow with your eyes. Come across, squeeze, and up. That'll be the bigger wood chopper. Now, we did top standing. You can do a rotational version of that as well. Whatever. You're eating up time. Is it necessary? Is it sports performance stuff? That's where that would fit in more appropriately. So we did standing, both sides. Across, inhale up, across. Try to not get into this kind of stuff where you're overdoing it with your arms. Comes up tall, find midline stability there, tight postural position. Exhale across, and down. Exhale across. Now, if you're on a lift, your opposite, there, coming down. There. Is it relevant or necessary for most of people? No way. All right. I think this is Mike Boyle for you guys. And so on. Other chops, you can use dumbbells for some of those. Those are fine. But if you see the cable version of this, there it is. V-sits is something, when I see the circuit, I use way more often. So you guys, questions on this? You comfortable with that? Good, good, good. Let's go back down. So V-sit, on bench regular or three-way. So, sitting upright in the table in there, nice and tight here. Extend as far as you can. Spot them from the backside so they don't fall. Squeeze in nice and tight. There should be constant tension on the abs here. As flat as you can get without falling. That nice center of gravity. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. That's the regular V-sit. Three-way would be side, middle, and side. That's 1, 2, 3, and so on. That's nice if they can coordinate it. That's not a normal exercise, typical clientele. More ninja style there, so I would go, so looking at the circuit we have, this could all be tighter here if I go ball sit up, dumbbell side bend, V-sit, unless you want to run around, whatever. Okay, so then cable crunch kneeling. I need to redo this circuit, I got to redo the gym. Cable crunch kneeling, I love this exercise, but again, this is another complex one to get coordinated down. So back over here, do cardio and core at the same time. So a lot of people completely miss the point on this one, and it's subtle control of the spine on this. So I would kneel on a pad for sure, for comfort. Holding nice and tight by the forehead. You can use a V-bar, actually pretty nicely with this one too. But as you kneel down, get a nice symmetrical position with the resistance there. Watch my spine and shoulders. So I want to come tight to the forehead, curl into a fetal position towards the knees, squeeze nice and tight. Inhale and reverse that motion. So you're going through a full arc of flexion extension of this one to really feel this come together versus staying flexed the whole time. My arms and lats are going to be firing like hell to really dominate the motion there. So stretch, exhale, squeeze. 1, 2, 3. Squeezing down towards the knees each time. So without getting the hip joint to open up there and the shoulders open up and stretch the rectus abdominis there, there's nothing going on other than moving at the hips. So this has got an open stretch there, squeeze it all down nice and tight. Good? Alright, let's move on. You guys know cat backs, bird dogs, floor supermans, all that. Hypers. Okay, ball sit-ups. Just gonna click these off. Don't worry about these as a circuit. I'm just clicking this off so we all know the exercises. This is a request. That's why we're doing this. So ball sit-ups we just did, ball wheel roll. So we did this, covered this one with Brendan I think one time. And I would not do this ever on wood as you'll slide and face plant on it. But once you're kneeling here, this can be with the wheel of death or this one here. I prefer this one myself. I feel a better stretch to my torso as I do it. But it's more tricky. So when you start here, standing up tall, it's opening up the arm angle and the hip angle to make this come together. So coming down slow, stretch. See I'm straight, the armpits and hips. Exhale, come up. So I didn't like my range of motion, so I'm going to go lower on the ball. So down, up, inhale before you go down, so you can inhale the whole decline, or center, inhale, exhale, come in. How much is necessary? Am I torquing my shoulder just to get range? Is it even appropriate? Ask them what they're feeling on that so you can really assess. There should be a lot of, think about the upper body strength required to even do this. We got people who can't even do push-ups, so this is where our range typically is. So think about more there of, first I want you to open the hips, then bring the arms and stay safe close to them so they'll face plant and just flop down. That'll happen as soon as that arm string is out, it's right away. That's a quick blown shoulder. It's a great exercise if it's done right, but think conservative, nice and tight, abs tight. There's that abs tight cue. Finally, we can use it. Nice and tight, tight, tight. Open the arms, open hips, arms, hips, arms, hips, arms. And then if you want to get them down lower, you think they got the strength for it, let's get in. I would just go with them. Down, slow down, real slow. I was bracing right here, nice and tight. Open, hips forward, hips forward, hips forward. Exhale, come back up. Good. Again, let's go a little bit lower. So link the hips first sooner. Down slow, open the hips, open the hips. Exhale, pull. Good. And drop the head just a little bit. Down slow, open the arms. Good. So I'm just guiding him and making sure he doesn't fall down basically. So I will get that fresh with someone because that's a comfort level I would just assume with someone unless I'm just weird and touchy and a creep about it. But I had to push his butt in order to get his hips to start moving. He was frozen there. You see that first rep? So just to get that, so that's why I'd first think about, earlier I said, get the hips going first. Get that open and then let's just think hips first, keep your arms locked in. And that came together better at first. So the first part of the exercise is way better, but now hips first, open hips, slowly bring the arms. Good, and that's better. So now he's feeling more through the entire torso there. So that one can go pretty bad, but watch the wood. Spot slow there, ease it down slow, don't go too fast on the way down. That's really all the nice part of the exercise is down. So 4, 3, 2, and exhale up. 4, 3, 2, and exhale up. The wheel's the same thing, but it takes more upper body strength and get a little bit lower. So same coaching and cues on that one. Ball hand off the toe touch. So think of how difficult toe touches are for some people. They can't get their legs up. Jackknives would be even worse. Same problem here. So this is an advanced version of that. Let's get Tony to get the rights to this. Okay, on your back. So you can refine the crap out of this one. You can make it, so let's go toe touch first. So squeeze between your legs. You just bring it up nice and high. Oh, then you got tight hamstring guy here. So tight here, hold squeeze, and reach up, hold between your ankles, nice and tight. Now, just to hold this up is going to work his lower abs like hell, is hip flexors as well, but just reach up high on the ball and tap. Reach high and down. Keep this tight, inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, X down. So that's kicking his ass, and I call this a lower grade core exercise. So it's just difficult to hold this up. So think of this as a weight more than anything, and a distraction. So this is turned on the whole time, and he's gonna get upper trunk flexion in there as well. Good. That's the basic version of that. Let's see. So the real Mac Daddy handoff, and I'll brace his legs if I have to, just a little bit, so it's kind of intermediate from actually doing his legs alone versus full-blown having to hold the ball. So a ball handoff is a jackknife, ball passing the ball from the ankles to the hand. Come down here. So once you start, you're going to start down flat, but you're going to meet up in the middle here and pass it off between your ankles. As you come down, try not to touch the ground on either side. So exhale up and meet with your feet in the middle. Grab the ball with your ankles. Come down. All the way, all the way, all the way. Exhale back up. Good. Hand off. Back down. Down, down, down. Exhale back up all the way. Good. Excellent. Back down. This is a great one. So jackknives are awesome. This is even a harder jackknife. Good. So that's the basic handoff. You could literally just do come up and toe tap. How you doing? You got a few more reps in you? Sure. Okay, come back overhead to the start position. Just a toe touch only. So keep the ball in the hands. Exhale up, touch. So with your toes. Just touch it with your toes and come back down.
Okay, so don't hand it off?
Right, exactly. So exhale up. Buying time. And down slow. Good. Exhale up. Right there, too much legs. Good. Exhale up.
I'm size 14
Right
shoes.
there. Good. Nice. One more. Exhale up. Good. Nice. All right. So that's how my first regression on that. Basically, it gets a lot harder once you put the ball on the foot. So that's the general zone I'd play with in there. You could do half jackknife, just so we cover those real quick. Half jackknife would be where his feet are in the air the whole time. He's just doing the upper body component of that. So feet up in the air real quick. Let's do a half jackknife, toe touch. So legs are up, half jackknife, just touch your toes in the air and down. Back up. So if he doesn't have the strength to lift his legs up and down, that's another regression I'll throw in there. Like we already did the toe touch. So that'd be the ball handoff, toe touch sequences there. Good. Well, watch on the jackknife so they're not doing too much with the lower body and the legs. Should be an equal balance. Come up with one jackknife and overdo the legs this time. The legs shouldn't there. See how hard he's flexing his spine there with speed? Do it again. Oh, that was a good one actually. But lots of people are like those flexible females who got really flexible lower bodies get way up there and nothing's happening up here. So try to meet them in the middle around hip level and the shoulders and head up come up a little bit. Good, and down. But likewise, your opposite happens where they're just reaching way up and their whole upper back's off the ground. Not just shoulders up, meet with the feet. Thank you. I'll do this one. Ball. So I got ball in the tuck from high plank position. So that's why there's 12 options on this, and the core manual got ridiculous and all kinds of Bruce Lee shit on there. So even this is too much for some people, but if someone can handle this, is one of my favorites. So high plank position, ball knee tuck. Some people call this a pike, I believe. Actually, no, this is the knee tuck. I'll do a pike in a second. It's nice and tight there. I'm not sagged there. Nice and tight in the middle. So the knee tuck, you get it choke up a little bit on the shins there. You can squeeze in nice and tight with the knees. Down slow. The stretch there is incredible. So think of the hardest plank you've ever done right there. Nice stretch. Exhale, squeeze tight. Down slow. Exhale, squeeze. So that's the high plank position, ball knee tuck. A pike would be coming straight up in the air like so. Oh, and down slow. Up high. Down slow. But not too many people probably should be doing that one there. What's the other one? Ball hip bridge. Ball plank, ball Superman, ball plank. High plank, this would have some specific places for it, but really this one here is the one I like. Ball plank there. Make sure they're not, they like to do that shit all the time. Ball plank there, one-legged, hard as hell. Other plank, high plank here. And this is one where you want to sag a lot. So nice and tight there, go to the toes, little plank. It says, hip bridge while we're at it. This is confusing. People have gotten lost in this one before. The hip bridge with feet on the ball. Right there. 1, 2, 3 down. 1, 2, 3 down. Single leg. 1, 2, 3 down. 1, 2, 3 down. Very easy version. Going down, relaxing. 1, 2, 3, 1. Sean does that. 1, 2, 3, 2.
Yeah.
You can weight this one up. All right, ball planks. Then ball Superman. Fantastic one, but very underrated. This is a good way to cue all the pieces of the posture. It's just awkward, hard to teach. Melting over the ball is the cue I like. Melt, postural position. Melt, posture hold. So think of all the things going on. It's easy to get the shoulders into play, but think about this down here. Gotta work real hard to engage that lower piece there and get the hips in the right position. It's a tight hold, 1, 2, 3. They're getting a kinesthetic feel against the ball that they gotta freeze and hold tight. It's a lot like a plank, but you're getting all the extension components going at the same time. The plank misses. Stretch, squeeze up, 1, 2, 3. Watch the knees. Bend, extend, 1, 2, 3. That's what they usually miss. They stay frozen there. Not bad still, but I like to get the hips to have to move a little bit too. And bring it all, 1, 2, 3. It gets everything 360 around. All right. You guys all know two-sided crunch? Two-sided crunch. It's LF4, you don't see that as often, but all it is, they learned basic crunch, knee rolls, cannonball crunch. Two-sided crunch is a slightly harder progression of that one. Hands behind the ears, here, knee roll and a crunch, and down. Very simple, but when they're used to doing only part of this, so upper torso, upper trunk there, upper trunk, then they did the knee roll on its own, and you bring it all together much harder. Not everyone can get away with that because of low back issues there, because they're getting a lot more range going on there. But very nice L4, sideline jackknives. There's videos of all this stuff if you're able to get it. This one, it gets really awkward. Arm flat, bend the knee, preferably this one. They start to rotate around too much and they miss the whole point. I like getting stable there. Sideline jackknife, right there. This is okay, but I feel pretty silly when I do this one. Right there. Elbow force vector from elbow to knee, squeezing tight there. And depending on where they're turning with their body here, think about what their foot's doing. So some people can point and be fine with it. Some people curl the heel or raise the toe there. Now, I don't give a shit which one they do. Whatever's putting their hips and center of gravity in the right position here. So watch what happens with the foot just to see how this transitions. Am I feeling all hip or am I feeling a little bit of the obliques coming on that one? So that's sideline jack. Butt lifts, you know, those hip lifts. You see people get confused with butt lifts versus hip bridge. Butt lifts are silly, small one. Butt lifts, I'm raising my butt. Hip bridge, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, and so on. That one you can weight with weight at the hips. Hanging leg raises. So, hanging leg raises, most of these guys will not expect to be able to nail by any means. But this is the most advanced version I would say here. This is not too tall. Look at that. Come try it. So I would kind of start in this position where I'm floating. That's the start and finish. And coming up, bam. So I'd be bracing them from behind so I don't have to fight like I did in the second round to come back up. Probably not going to work, but just keep your legs forward just a little bit. So hang nice and long. Okay. You just let your upper body hang legs straight here. We're going to go to the knee version in a second, so go ahead and raise up. I'm just going to brace in there. This ain't going to work at all, so we need to find something much higher. Bend your knees and try it.
So bring your knees up.
Yep, so bend there. Then just come back. Come back, bring the legs. Hang. There you go, roll up. Good. So my point here, what I was trying to show is balancing him. So when he gets real good, he can counterbalance himself, like on pull-ups and stuff. How many of our clients can knock out a bunch of pull-ups? What I'm saying is brace him so he's not flopping back and forth. Yes, we can do the annoying loud version over there. It's a lot easier to hold himself up, but I just want to go over this one first. So from this, that one over there, that pull-up bar, you can get the hanging leg raise for taller people. But let me show you. You know, I always start them off with this one just to see if they've got the strength to do it. So that's the simple secret to do it on your own. Take your time between each rep so you're not flopping around back and forth. But the chair over here is the intermediate version. That is a heavy knee roll or a heavy bench knee roll. So on that, you might say, give me 5 of the straight-legged version. When you're in the middle progression lane, maybe 5 of the harder ones with straight leg, and then another 5 with knee rolls or something like that. So start, if you're brand new at it, say, let's build you up to 3 sets of 10 on the knee roll first, and then, okay, you're pro at these now, let's go. See how many you can do straight legs out of 10, you got 3, let's do 7 more with knee rolls, something like that. Then ankle weights to weight, hold a medicine ball at the ankles, at the knees, however you want to make that harder. You can do a band at the ankles around there and see if they can get up. Roll the rolls, couple crunch side bends, we're close, we're close. I think you should all go through yell snowball tonight. Anybody?
Snowball.
Went. So they've been doing H28 for 3 months now. They don't get the excitement anymore. They're already over it. It's not that much fun. They're not so sore. Here's your answer. Okay, decline sit-up is our basic movement here. This is bloody hell with a British accent.
You gotta do the accent, right?
Those are good. You got one. Okay, arms across the chest. Okay, now stay in fetal position. So I'm going to take him down halfway. So it's 5 to 10 reps. Really 5 reps is all this takes to get the job done. So you go all the way down, up to halfway. Right there. So in like 45 degrees are the hardest point for him to hold midway-ish. So for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, finish the rep. Come back down all the way. Up to midway. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, finish. 2, down all the way. Up midway, stop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, finish. 3, 2 more, down all the way. Up to mid, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, a little high. Is that 4? All the way down. All the way up. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, finish. 1 more, all the way down. All the way up, finish right there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, finish right. So that just turns everything on way much harder. Think that as the 5s and squats counterpart for the core. So once they stop responding to the decline sit-up, that is definitely a quick fix. Likewise, with all the weighted counterparts you can do on that. If you want to do a 30-second hold there, I would do this with John with his tight hip flexors, but you do 30-second holds on that. Work that up to 10 reps if they get really good at it, but make sure they're not sitting at such a point where it's not that hard. So find that difficult spot and hold them there. So that's the paused 5-second pause decline sit-up. Then you would go through that one. So think of it 5 reps through and then 30-second rest and repeat. Sorry, thinking out loud. Okay, let's do side plank. We know basic side plank. Your typical side plank there. Leg raise side plank. Leg raising side plank. Weighted dumbbell side plank. Arm in dumbbell side plank. So if think ankle weight, once they get good at that, this would be good on your chest back hamstring day, working in the hip piece there. Hold nice and tight, but actually I feel counter pressure over here real hard on the obliques here when you do that. So if they get good at that, ankle weight, dumbbell as well, ankle weight, leg raises, still working a similar focus of the hips as well and the obliques. So that circuit would go the decline sit-ups, side plank, front plank, then to an iron cross. Finding a very uncomfortable position there first, bring out the arms, hold tight, and that's one for time just like the plank. Again, that's not one I would do with someone with terrible posture. That'd be someone Ninja World, holding tight, works like else. After doing that, this is an amazing finish piece. After any sort of circuit, that's amazing. If they have a great spine balance, let's say flexion, extension sides, if you hit plank, you can throw those in as an equal version of the plank for the flexion side of the fence. Okay, that I think covers them all. But I got one thing. Any questions? Twist. So that's in the yellow snowball typically there. So nice and flat. So this I would call a windmill. So what's going on here, this scares the shit out of me. This is like the lunge basically. So legs are long and straight. This is working anti-rotation, say a bit. You're working rotation, but I think anti-rotation because I'm lowering slow, decelerating slow, keeping the lumbar vertebrae in check there basically. What happens though, people are thinking about my obliques doing all this crap here, the CrossFit style, you know, and I'm gonna destroy my back, doing it, destroy it. So holding tight down, slow, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale up, reset the spine. 4, 3, 2, 1, up, reset the spine. That's the way I focus on that one. But this is the way I usually use it. Nice and easy there. It's a nice hip stretch there. They get a little bit of mobility in the hips. So 4, 3, 2, 1, up, reset the spine. 4, 3, 2, 1, up, reset the spine. I like to sandwich it in there too. You can go medicine ball between the knees as well, ankle weights again. There's crazy versions of this, holding barbells and all that jazz. So I expect to see you doing your workouts there. So I'm off the wall. So that's that windmill and your torso twist. Now I want to haze the new people real quick. Any other questions? Okay, so new people are going to do yellow snowball real quick. Just so you guys can see this, because you never see it. So why I want to do this to you, A, because you're new, B, because you can see the timing of how this flows together as yellow snowball. This is the last one on the list for a reason. It's probably not the hardest one, but it burns. So let's get you guys on the mat.
No mat. On the wood.
Yeah, you'll need your own spot there. So go ahead and quit and grab one for you there.
Hey, is Ben not new anymore? You a veteran?
He memorized the deadlift checklist.
Okay, you're
Now,
get out of jail free
remember,
card.
Alright. So this is LF1, 2, and 3 rolled into some hybrid stuff together. So try to keep the pace. I will jump down conservatively with the reps probably in this to be nice. Alright, on your backs. There's snowball, there's yellow snowball. The full menu is something, for example, this is a good go-to. The full menu is basically in a row, one round of LF1, 2, 3, and 4. And if it gets to be too much, just cut off L4 from the circuit. But this is something I do when I'm in a crunch, say in boot camp, and they want to feel their abs burning. And I'll say, okay, well, I did all the real important stuff today. We spent all this time teaching you deadlifts today. Well, we want to train core. LF1, 2, 3 real quick. I give them variation, I give them some stimulation. And you're playing that to come out so nicely. But variation, of course, so they feel some burn, they feel different exercises, and it's not boring. So I'm just doing that for their consumer side of things. And I'll throw that in, I can get it done real quick. They know the exercises, so I don't have to work with learning curves in that, basically. But it's also nice for anyone in here who has not seen their core in a while, or any that they've lost it. And it's like, I want to do a quick overview of everything real quick. We're going to hit one set of LF1, 2, and 3. So I do that all the time on my workout. So, hey, I've been lazy about doing core. I'm just going to hit one round of all 4, or all 3. Depending on how hard and how much time it takes. Yellow snowball is like that, but it's just a little bit harder. Okay, here we go. Jackknives first. Let's get 15 jackknives. That's going to segue right into a toe touch. So on your last jackknife rep, you're going to stay up and go right into toe touch. So you're staying constant tension the whole time. So ready, set, exhale up, reach for the feet, and down. Exhale up, 2, inhale. Exhale up, 3, down, up, 4, down. Tony's not going to make it, up, 5. Bless upper body, up, 6. Inhale, there you go, up, 7. Inhale. Up 8, inhale, 3 times state wrestling champion, up 9, inhale, up 10, 5 more, inhale, up 11, down, up 12, down, up 13, down, up 14, it's going to start snowballing in a second, up 15, hold at the top, toe touch 15, ready, set, up.